Chat Sports will be your one-stop shop for everything NFL free agency related this offseason. We're going to be live on Monday, several other days afterward, breaking down all the different moves this year in NFL free agency, so make sure you guys are subscribed. Tom Downey here for Chat Sports. NFL free agency is a couple of days away. The NFL Combine is over. So as promised, we're sneaking in one more NFL mock draft before free agency. And also, as promised, we're doing trades on this one. Again, that's plural trades, by the way. We begin with the number 1 overall pick. I'd say like a 5% chance the Bears end up keeping it. I think they'll find a trade partner when it's all said and done. The rough trade value could get a little bit more for Chicago. I do think some Bears fans are setting up unrealistic expectations of what they'll be able to get back in exchange. The number 4 overall pick, the 35th overall pick this year, and a future first, all of which is pretty damned valuable if you are the Chicago Bears. Colts jump up, and they take the betting favorite to be the number 1 overall selection. That is Bryce Young. I wouldn't say it's a lock that Bryce Young goes number 1. I think there's even a scenario in which, he ends up going maybe more along the lines of number 3 or later if a Stroud skyrockets or whatever. But I think he is correctly the betting favorite. The size, hey, I'll give him credit for bulking up something along the lines of about 25 pounds from his playing weight this past year. Number 2, C.J. Stroud out of Ohio State. Put on a nice little show at the Combine in terms of his throwing. We know he's accurate. There are still questions remaining about the outside of structures, concepts, and ability. Showed some flashes against Georgia, but why didn't he do that consistently? Number 3, Arizona Cardinals. Another trade. The Panthers jump up to number 3 overall in exchange for, and this one actually works out almost perfectly on the trade value chart. Now, it's a quarterback you're coming up for, so you could get a little bit more, but I want to keep it within that trade value chart range. Almost identical numbers here on the new version. 2nd round pick and a 3rd round pick to Arizona. That's a lot of draft capital to help kickstart the apparent rebuild Arizona's going on. At number 3, Anthony Richardson. I do think Frank Reich is a good landing spot for Richardson. I think you might want to have a veteran quarterback be inserted there to help, give him time to grow and learn how to maximize everything on the roster, in terms of his ability there. Upside's appealing, but if you're scared, I completely understand. This works out perfectly for the Chicago Bears in the end. They get to move down spots, get 2 extra draft picks, and take the guy they would have taken number 1 overall anyway. That is edge rusher Williams. That's why I think number 4 is such a perfect trade destination spot for the Bears. You trade down, still get the top guy on your board. That's the old win-win. I do not think the Bears keep this draft pick. Who do you think, when it's all said and done, ends up trading up to that number 1 spot? Let me know in the comment section who ends up with that number 1 pick. It's the pinned comment on today's video. So if there's an ad break on YouTube, cool, ignore it. Take advantage of it. Head down there. Let me know what team you think ends up picking number 1. I'm going to stick with Jalen Carter at number 5. I know the off-the-field stuff is now a very real concern and red flag. I don't know how much it's going to be impactful in terms of the actual draft stock when it's all said and done, because teams will be able to figure it out and verify it. I think it's still too early to know for certain, so I'll give them to Seattle. They got burned by Malik McDowell, but they would love an impact defensive tackle. Christian Gonzalez out of Oregon tested like a freak. He and, in theory, Jeffrey Okudah will be a great 1-2 punch. Hopefully Okudah can take another step forward. The Raiders at number 7. I really think they're going to take a quarterback this year. If they don't, they've been looking defense, by the way. Will Levis, I have concerns about him. I don't know if he's ever going to get rid of the just back-breaking turn that he always seems to have, but there's a lot of prototype arm talent there that teams will fall in love with. And I can see McDaniels thinking, I can make this guy great, which maybe not a good thing in the end. I think the answer here is 4, that there are 4 quarterbacks drafted in round 1. If you agree or disagree, let me know in the comment section. You think Hendon Hooker, Tanner McKee, who I don't like that much, sneaks in? Sound off in the comment section. Tyree Wilson, number 8 here to the Atlanta Falcons. I think they're going defense, edge or corner. Wilson, the best one of the bunch. I didn't really know what to do with Arizona at number 9. I will be fully upfront and honest here. I thought about offensive line because they've got one guy under contract who was a starter last year. Defensive line is a big area of concern. About cornerback, I could see Jonathan Gannon thinking Nolan Smith is his Hassan Reddick. Good player comp for him, by the way. So we'll go possible overreaction to the combine, Nolan Smith at number 9. Devin Witherspoon at number 10. He was going to be the pick here for me even before the whole weird Darius Slay trade thing. You need cornerback help. I'm a big fan of Witherspoon's game. I'll lock him in here at number 10. Today's show is sponsored by Athletic Greens. I take AG1 by Athletic Greens literally every day. Get comprehensive and convenient daily nutrition at athleticgreens.com/chatsports. I gave AG1 a try because I wanted better gut health and I want a supplement that actually tastes great. I take AG1 in the morning and it makes me feel prepared to take on my day. Once I have baby Olivia set up with her breakfast, I make my own AG1, and I don't feel the need for caffeine in the morning anymore, and I feel energized throughout the day. Plus, AG1 empowers the gut for whole body health. Covering my nutritional basis for the day literally couldn't be any easier. That's why I trust Athletic Greens. I mix 1 small scoop of AG1 with water or apple juice. I did that this morning because I just felt like I needed it. And I like that it costs less than $3 a day, by the way. Drink it first thing, boom, I'm done like that. It's a really effective daily habit with the highest quality sourced ingredients, making it the old win-win. If a comprehensive solution is what you need from your supplement routine, then Athletic Greens is giving you a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. Go to athleticgreens.com/chatsports. That's athleticgreens.com/chatsports. Check it out. Links in the comments section and the description of today's video. It is boring. I'm going to keep mocking Paris Johnson Jr. to Tennessee until something changes. Top obvious left tackle. Team needs O-line help. It just makes sense. I don't know where Quentin Johnston ends up going. When we check in even a month from now, I might feel like this was a mistake on my part putting him so high. Teams were a bit surprised he checked in under 210 at the combine. But adding an outside playmaker at wide receiver is a big area of concern for Houston. The Jets, number 13, Peter Skoronski. This pick could also maybe work if they trade it for Aaron Rodgers. Skoronski at number 13. The arm length is a real red flag. Reminds me of a better version of Elijah Vera Tucker. So how about get both of them on the Jets? Jackson Smith and Jigba, number 14. I think this is about the right range for him, somewhere in the maybe upper echelon of 12 to like that 25 range. That's kind of where the going to get really different opinion at that point. I love the quickness. I do have concerns about the long top-end speed. Michael Mayer, I think, would be a great fit for what Green Bay wants to do at tight end. He can block, he can catch, he's reliable. He'd be a nice safety valve for Rodgers, or maybe it's Jordan Love. Who knows? Number 16, Joey Porter Jr. I'll actually group Joey Porter Jr. at 16 to the Commanders and Broderick Jones, number 17, to Pittsburgh together. Because I think both of those guys could just flop spots and no one would be that mad. Both teams looking for cornerback help. Both teams looking for O-line help. I'm fans of both guys. I love JPJ in particular. Fills a need. If you want to flip him, I ain't going to be mad at it. Lucas Van Ness, tested like a freak out of Iowa. I do think he'd be a fun player alongside, or for Dan Campbell. It just seems like a good Dan Campbell fit with the bull. He loves his bull rush. I think Dan Campbell will appreciate that. Maybe he loves it a little bit too much. I think on third downs, you can put Van Ness on the inside, base defensive end. That flexibility makes him a great fit, I believe, in Detroit. Emmanuel Forbes is super skinny. He's 166 pounds. Could maybe add 10 pounds to his frame if he needed to. Super fast, elite ball skills. Tampa will be in the market for a corner. Miles Murphy, I think both Murphy and Brzee were overhyped at the beginning of this draft cycle, kind of come crashing back down to earth. Murphy would have tested really well, so maybe we will feel better post-pro day in terms of where I think he ends up going. This is based on what I think teams will do, not what I would do. What's the point of that? In my reality, it's what the big board's for. Murphy at number 20. Seahawks get Jalen Carter and Miles Murphy. That's a great building block up front. All right, Dalton Kincaid, number 21 to the Chargers. A seam-stretching tight end. I think Kellen Moore would like that. I know Justin Herbert would too. Adding more playmakers is always a good idea. And it is a loaded tight end class, by the way. So my question for you is, who is your favorite tight end prospect? I'm not saying best. My number one guy is Michael Mayer. But my favorite prospect is actually Darnell Washington, because I am a huge fan of a guy that's built like a tackle and moves like a tight end. That's a great one. That's a great dynamic combo there. He's my favorite guy, even though he's not my best tight end. So with that in mind, drop a tight end for me in the comment section. Jordan Addison didn't test as well as I think people were hoping he was going to, but he's number 22 to the Ravens. Please give Lamar Jackson, I think, maybe, help at wide receiver. As we sit here filming, no news on Dalvin Cook's future. I would not be surprised if he gets cut. So we've never given Bijan to Minnesota before. We're trying to keep things different each time we do a mock draft. Again, sorry, Titans. Robinson, number 23. There's your Dalvin Cook replacement. Number 24, Kalijah Kancey, the defensive tackle. Undersized, 3 technique, but incredibly explosive and can shed blocks really well. I kind of like his fit in Jacksonville alongside some other talented pass rushers. Zay Flowers to the New York Giants. They need to get Daniel Jones some actual weapons beyond Saquon Barkley. Here's one of them, the Boston College product. Deonte Banks out of Maryland, I think, is a great scheme fit alongside Trayvon Diggs. They have very different styles of play. Very impressive combine performance in terms of the athletic testing. Has been a report out of Dallas that maybe the interview side wasn't as great. It's not necessarily going to be a draft stock tanker, but you want to investigate that. So 26 here, I think would be a great pick for Dallas. Another one of my guys, Brian Branch to the Buffalo Bills, number 27 overall. I think Branch is going to be a star in the NFL, and that's me being a bit aggressive on that front. There's your Jordan Poyer replacement, Bills. Darnell Wright. We'll see what happens to Lyle Collins, by the way, in Cincinnati. Wright, I think, is a right tackle only. Name checks out, I suppose. Took a massive step forward this year after really being rough to begin his career. Good athlete, too. I think he helped solidify himself as that fourth and maybe could surprise and be the third tackle off the board. Keon White out of Georgia Tech to the New Orleans Saints. Producer Trace, thumbs up, thumbs down. He says thumbs up. It makes me happy. I didn't tell him in advance. Athletic, edge rusher. I don't know if Davenport's going to be back. I think defensive line's an obvious area of focal point for the Saints. Brian Brzee out of Clemson to the Philadelphia Eagles. Another freak athlete up front for Philadelphia. Athletic testing has so far outpaced the actual production, though. Finally, Anton Harrison. First time I put him in the first round of a mock draft. But Orlando Brown's probably not going to be back. Harrison's a left tackle. Athletically, I think would mesh well with the Chiefs' offense. Tackles tend to rise. I wouldn't be shocked if Harrison snuck in the back end of round 1. We're different here. We do non-first-round picks because that's lame to not do it. Because, you know what? Rams, Browns, Dolphins, Broncos, Niners fans, you matter to me as well. Felix Enudike-Uzama, the edge out of Kansas State. There's your Leonard Floyd replacements for the Los Angeles Rams because they need help on that side of the football. B.J. Ojulari, there's your Jadeveon Clowney replacement. That is his brother, by the way. Now we're out to the top 50, so we are really just guessing. Eli Ricks out of Alabama. I think there's athletic upside there. I do. Untapped potential, just a bit of a gamble because he hasn't played that much of late. Matthew Bergeron out of Syracuse. There's a potential right tackle option for Denver who needs offensive line help. And then Luke Schoonmaker, the tight end out of Michigan, who I think is a good fit for what the Niners are going to want to do. And we were at the Combine, of course. Almost every time I talked to was like, yeah, I had a formal with the 49ers. Pretty clear sign they're going to look for tight end help this year. So grade my mock draft. A, B, C, D, or F. Sound off in the comment section. Before we go, though, some other prospects I want to show some love to. My guy, Darnell Washington. I'm a big fan of Osiris Torrance, but I didn't find a good spot for a guard this time around, so that made me sad. Drew Sanders, probably one of the top off-ball linebackers. Jalen Hyatt brings speed. Will McDonald's intriguing. He's just really small. He's very skinny and undersized weight-wise, but he's a great athlete with some real pass rush ability.